Hey y'all. All right. I'm gonna give y'all some time to come on in while I set up my computer right now. I'm getting ready to um I'm waiting on my drink to come too, a delivery. But anyways, I just wanted to come on here and allow you guys basically to ask me some questions. Not a lot has really changed when it comes to pandemic EBT and the other things that I usually come on here and talk to you guys about. I'm hoping that there's going to be another update on Monday. I did see some additional information regarding California for pandemic EBT. I know that California is currently negotiating with the United States Department of Agriculture because I guess there were some terms in the plan that they submitted that wasn't working for the USDA. So they're in the process of trying to negotiate those terms again so that they can get the approval. Yo, okay. All right, I am waiting on like I said, I'm waiting on my drink. I was trying to wait for the person to come before I got on, but I know for some of you guys, it's like probably really, really late. I had intended on doing this earlier, but I didn't get back in the time that I thought I was. I had went out to run some errands. Um, so we're just now getting back. I don't see the chat. It should be popping up here. But yeah, any questions that you guys have, you need to know the payout dates for pandemic EBT. I'm getting ready to pull all of that information up right now so that way I can answer you guys' questions as you. Did anybody get there? Is there anybody online that's in California? I should say first before I ask my next question. This is for California. Hold on, y'all. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. All right, I am back and hopefully uninterrupted for the remainder of this video. I guess I can give you guys some information. Um, I had some information here that I was going to wait and share with you guys next week. Let me see here. It's a lot going on. I was reading earlier, everywhere. It's like just when we think things are getting better, it's like we take 50 steps back. But I did see that in Michigan, it looks like you guys are getting ready to lose the federal extended unemployment benefits. It says the unemployment rate was high initially, but you guys have had, for those of you who are in Michigan, whether you're watching this on the playback or you're watching it live, it says you guys have had 3 months consecutively below the threshold, and the feds put the state on notice. So I'm assuming that that means that for the federally boosted benefits for the PEUC program or the PUA program, you guys are probably going to have to apply. The state is going to have to apply for those benefits if they want to continue giving it. Um, I'm not sure if they're going to do that. There's so many programs that are out right now, like the pandemic EBT and the emergency SNAP allotments, that they're giving out and having a hard time enough trying to get those new programs up and running. So I'm not sure if they're going to even apply for it. Honestly, it's seeming like a lot of these new opportunities, from everything that I'm seeing, there's like money that's being driven to these states, but the states haven't really put the work in terms of creating these programs. And I get it. They're overwhelmed with enough as it is. They're trying to set up vaccination sites. They've got the programs that are non-negotiable, like the pandemic EBT. They got the regular EBT benefits. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. I know they've cut back in terms of, a regular CalWorks or what do you call those other programs? SNAP programs, making it easier for people to get those benefits if they're applying for the first time and they're doing like a new case. There's a lot of requirements that are usually non-negotiable, but they've cut back on a lot of those to make it easier for people to get in the door and get those benefits as soon as possible. So trying to accommodate that as well as everything else is just, it's not been easy at all. Um, Currently, right now for pandemic EBT, it usually doesn't change on the weekend, so I don't expect another update to this until Monday. But as of right now, for pandemic EBT, I have Arizona, Connecticut, Delaware, DC, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. There's also, I did tell you guys in another video, Alabama has been approved. I know that they're not going to start distributing those benefits for Alabama specifically until, I believe that they said the end of spring or early summer. So let me see. Emergency SNAP allotments. Have anything changed on that front in terms of who's been approved? Oh, might have. Okay, so for emergency SNAP allotments for April, we have Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado. For California, you guys know that if you're on here and you're from California, we're going to be getting our emergency SNAP allotments for the month of March on the 18th. Okay, so the 18th is when we're going to receive that disbursement. I think that's tomorrow for us. Okay, and then our April disbursement, we won't get that until May 16th. Okay. But there's Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Delaware, DC, Florida, Georgia, Guam, Hawaii, Illinois, Idaho, Iowa, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Looks like pretty much every state. um, I can't see if you guys are saying anything or not. Oh, there you are. Okay. I wasn't seeing you guys' questions. I'm like, what's going on? All right, let me see if I can go back down. Oh, and is New York approved for pandemic EBT? Let me double check. Yep, New York has been approved for pandemic EBT. You are on the United States Department of Agriculture. Yeah. I see Texas. Are you asking about pandemic EBT for Texas, or are you asking about emergency SNAP for Texas? Which one are you asking about? I see you on here for pandemic EBT for Texas. Um, hey there. I don't want to say you guys' name unless you give me permission, so I'm just gonna say hey when I see hey. But hey, y'all. Do you know the pay dates for May as far as food stamps for Iowa? May hasn't come out yet. We're still doing April right now, so the pandemic EBT card directly to you in the mail or direct deposit. So usually with pandemic EBT, depending on what state you're in, you would have already received a PEBT card when they did the first two disbursements. I know for the August and September, not every state was approved for that. There was like 25 states that were approved. But if you had a child that was eligible for free or reduced price lunches for the first disbursement, then you would have received a PEBT card in the mail. They don't do direct deposit because it's the same thing as food stamps. So it's going to be on an EBT card. Depending on your state, it's going to vary what color and all of that. Some states have white cards. Some states have a blue card. It just depends. But not every state is sending out a new card every time they do a new disbursement. It just depends again on the state if they have their system set up where they can just put some more benefits on your already distributed card, or if they want to go ahead and send you guys out some new cards. But every state didn't do that. Okay, they delivered my drink with a straw that doesn't work. All right. How long will EBT last? What do you mean by how long? Hey Anthony, how long will it last? EBT is it's not going to expire. Now, if you're talking about the pandemic EBT or the emergency SNAP allotments, as far as I know right now, the 15% increase, which is for regular EBT benefits, that is supposed to continue until September of this year. So for the 15% increase, you should see that all the way up until September of this year. Now for the emergency allotments, I'm thinking that they're going based off of what's going on in the economy. Okay, so it really just depends on if those extra funds are needed. Are they going to continue to give that extra disbursement every month? I know that they've reversed something that was going on with Trump's administration that prevented a lot of households from getting those benefits because they already received the maximum amount. So they're going to be receiving all of that back pay retroactively. But in terms of the emergency allotments, I mean, we really just don't know. It just depends on how long they want to continue on. I need to get another straw because this ain't working. Hold on, y'all. One more time. Okay, I'm back. When do we get both in? Will California get new PEBT cards? Yeah, I definitely believe that California is going to get new pandemic EBT cards, mainly because it was somewhat typed that way in the on the website when I went to look at it. Um, when do we get both in Wisconsin? All right, Wisconsin. Let me look you up. So for whoever just asked about Wisconsin, pay attention because I'm going to look you up really quick and see. So for pandemic EBT, this site I don't think is going to give me anything. I know that you guys were approved. Your pandemic EBT for the new school year was approved February 8th. I'm going to look up, what is it? Okay, Wisconsin, I'm going to give you the information for the emergency SNAP allotments first because that's easier to look up. So for that, you should receive your benefits. It says April 24th, and then for late or reinstated cases, it will be June 6th. Okay, so that's for the emergency SNAP, April 24th, and then June 6th. Now, for pandemic EBT, I have to look and see if that information is available. Pandemic EBT payout days is a little bit more difficult to find because it's not on the United States Department of Agriculture website. Let me see what it says here for Wisconsin. First set of PBs are now blah, 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 blah. The first set of benefits are for the month of August, September, October, and November 2020. Benefits for the next months of 2020-2021 school year, December, January, February, and March will be provided later this spring. Families with addresses on file with DHS will receive letters in the mail telling them if they will receive PEBT benefits. Benefits may differ from month to month and from child to child. So it's not really giving information on when you can expect the benefits. But they do give a phone number. So I can give you the phone number if you want that. For Wisconsin, it says that your PEBT support line is 833-431-2224. And that's for Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Okay. So that's 833-431-2224. Yeah, it's not saying when they will be available. Where can I use what, when? Okay, wait a minute. Maybe it says it here. Nope, it just says later this spring. It's not giving a direct date or timeline. It just says later this spring. That's the only information it's giving me for Wisconsin. Okay, so I'm still waiting on my refund. I filed February 12th. I didn't get the second stimulus. Any insight concerning this? Okay, so from what I know, because I was in the same situation, I filed mines for February 12th. Now, for the second stimulus, you should have put that, if you filed your tax return, like you said you did, you filed your tax return, then you should have claimed that as a recovery rebate on your tax return. So that means that you should get that along with your refund, okay? That's what I know about that. Now, in terms of when you're going to get it, that I wouldn't be able to tell you because they're so behind. I know that people are still getting direct deposit dates and all of that on a weekly basis. I think the next direct deposit is either the 21st or the 23rd of April for most people, but I wouldn't be able to give you a for sure answer as to when you're going to be able to get it. I just know that you should have claimed it on your taxes as a recovery rebate. Okay, so you may want to check with your tax preparer to see if that was done. Hey Kim, do SSI, SSDI get Golden State? I know SSI gets the Golden State stimulus. I'm not exactly sure if they started to pay those out. And from what I understand, when I looked it up, I believe that for I think it was CalWorks program. They did those first. Let me see if I can find the information for the Golden State stimulus. I'm going to look it up on my computer screen because it's a lot easier so I don't have to squint like an old lady at my phone. I do know that SSI, SSDI recipients are supposed to get the California Golden State stimulus. They're calling it the Golden State stimulus, not Golden State stimulus, Golden State grant, and it's supposed to come on your card. So whether you have direct deposit or you have the direct express card, it should have been there. They just started doing those deposits as of April 15th. So if you're supposed to get, I don't know if you file taxes, but if you file taxes, you're also supposed to get another $600 for that too. Depending on your circumstance, you will get either $600 or you'll get $1,200. You'll get $600 for your SSI or CalWorks, and then if you file taxes and you fall within the criteria, which is to have made less than $30,000, and you have the California earned income tax credit on your state taxes, then you also qualify for another $600, which would give you an additional $1,200 stimulus. Okay. $600 Golden State grant. Let me see. Golden State grant. Okay, yeah. So it's for CalWorks families, SSI, SSP, and CAPA, which is Cash Assistance Program for Immigrants. Those are the only programs that I'm seeing right here in terms of being eligible for the $600. I don't see SSDI. I see SSI, SSP, and CAPI, and CalWorks. Those are the only programs that I see. But you can also look it up online on the California Franchise Tax Board, because that's where I'm looking at right now. Why is my stuff not up? All the commissioner is saying we are trying our best. I know that's not good, but we are doing it. No, it's not good at all. People don't want to hear you trying your best. People want their money. I mean, I get it though. They're behind. People have been laid off, due to the pandemic. People have actually gotten sick. They had people not laid off, but people had to stop working, for health reasons or whatever the case may be. They're understaffed right now, and everybody who is working have a heavy workload. So, I mean, I do get it. At the end of the day, it's not their fault. I think that we're all at the mercy of these actual programs and the people who are responsible for running them, not the actual employees of the IRS, because they really don't have nothing to do with the programs that have been implemented and created to get this stuff moving along. They're just there using it. They do training just like you do at McDonald's. You go in, you learn how to use their systems, and then you start working. So, I mean, I get it. It's not their fault. The IRS commissioner should give us more information, though, other than we're trying our best. Do people that receive welfare get a stimulus check? If you're getting CalWorks, which is a form of welfare, I don't know what they call it in other states, but I know out here for people who have children, you can get on a program called CalWorks, which makes you eligible for cash aid as well as food stamps, and that's considered welfare. Those people have already received their Golden State stimulus. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, or if you're talking about the regular stimulus. For the regular stimulus check, you need to be in the system some way, somehow. You have to have filed taxes, I believe. I know they had a portal open at the beginning of last year for those who don't normally file taxes, so that you can go on there and put your information in so that they know where to find you, but they close that portal down. Now, if they're going to reopen that, or if there's another way that you can go on and try to get your stimulus check, I don't know. Last thing I heard is that they were telling people that you have to file some type of tax return. The only people who are not required to file tax return are generally people who receive SSI and things of that nature. And they've already worked it out for those people who get SSI benefits or veterans benefits, where they automatically deposit those onto those cards for those programs. Now, for everybody else who just doesn't file taxes, who maybe haven't worked for 10 years or so, I'm not exactly sure. You would have to contact the IRS specifically to see what's the protocol for that type of situation. Yeah, the Golden State stimulus is just for California. It's not for North Carolina. That's only. Now, if you're talking about the second stimulus check, that one was $600. The first one was $1,200 for adults, $500 per dependent, child dependent, and then the second stimulus check was $600 for adults and for dependents. So if that's what the one that you're talking about, if you filed taxes for 2020 and you didn't receive either one of those, or you didn't receive the second one, then you should have claimed it on your tax return as a recovery rebate. Okay, that also, they're saying that people who haven't received their first or second stimulus and had to claim those on their taxes, that those tax returns are taking a little bit more extra time to process. I don't necessarily think that that's what it is. I think that just in general, because of the fact that they're already behind, that's why tax returns this year is taking some extra time. They were not caught up with 2019 tax returns. They had updated us to say that they had finally gotten all of the mailed in tax returns for 2019 into the system, but they hadn't been processed. So they were still working on 2019 when they started accepting returns for 2020. So I think that that's why they're behind, along with everything else that we know about. Someone is saying, is that NC for North Carolina? That North Carolina is getting $335 in stimulus, and you can go online to apply. I think I talked about that. If that's not a recent one, if that's the one that they did, I don't know if that was like 6 or something months ago. Yeah, there was quite a few other states that did their own separate stimulus. California isn't the only one, and as far as I'm concerned, we're late to the game, because there were, I think there was New Mexico, North Carolina. I can't remember the names of the other states, but there were quite a few states that did additional $500, $600, $300. They were doing extra stimulus for their state. They were trying to get rid of allocate those funds that they had gotten from the CARES Act, because they had a deadline. If they didn't use it, they had to give it back. So I know there were quite a few people, or quite a few states, I meant to say, that have done the Cal State, I mean, not the Cal State, the extra stimulus for their state. What about the plus up? The plus up payments are basically, so what plus up payments mean basically is, let's say you didn't get a chance to file your 2020 taxes, and they went off of your 2019 taxes to distribute your stimulus check, but because your 2019 taxes said that you made maybe more money, you went over the threshold, so you didn't get the full stimulus, but then you went and you filed your 2020 taxes, and your 2020 taxes gave you a lower income threshold than your 2019, then they're basically sending you the difference. They're sending you that extra money that you should have gotten, because now your 2020 says you made less money. That's basically what the plus up payments are. The only other extra money that I know they're supposed to be distributing is not supposed to happen until next month in May, and that's for people who filed their taxes but paid taxes on their unemployment. If they receive unemployment, they were supposed to have $10,200 of that tax free. But a lot of people went and just filed their taxes, and so now the IRS is going to have to go back in and manually amend those, and then send money back to people who are owed extra money. I never got my 2019. I know there's a lot of people that are still waiting on 2019 taxes. I had a couple of people tell me from other videos that they're waiting on their 2018 taxes too. Kentucky didn't do it. Yeah, there's a lot of states. Not every state did their own stimulus. I want to say, I can't remember off the top of my head. I know there was probably like, I want to say like 7 to 10 states maybe that did their own separate stimulus that was separate from the first two stimulus that we received. There were like seven states that did that, but not every state jumped on board and did that. They did other things with their money. New York didn't do it. It's expensive in New York. Honestly, it's like they're constantly saying how expensive it is, the cost of living in New York and the cost of living in California. It's so expensive. There's a lot of states that had to use that money for other things, and I get it. I should get the... No, it doesn't make sense, but yeah, they're behind. I mean, granted, not all of it. We're not going to, 2018, obviously, I don't think that had anything to do with the pandemic. That could have just been clerical errors, either on part of the IRS or people's tax preparers or people needing to return information. A lot of us, myself included, once I send my information off to the IRS, sometimes in my mind, I'm thinking everything is cool, it's all good. I don't think to go back and check and see if maybe there's, if I dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's. So a lot of times they send information out to people's homes and they're not paying attention, or they see a letter from the IRS, they're not thinking it has anything to do with their tax return, so they disregard it, and then they don't submit the documents that's needed, and then that holds up their tax return. I think that could have been the possibility of what was going on in 2018, but I know for sure for 2019 and 20, they're backed up because they're just backed up. It's just too much going on in the world right now. Everybody's backed up. Heck, McDonald's is backed up when you go there. Wait, I think somebody asked about a fourth one. But if you got the first, second, and third, I don't know if they're going to do a fourth one for sure. I know that they're talking about doing a fourth stimulus check, and the fourth one, they want it to be recurring. They want to start off by giving you $2,000, and then every month after that, they want to do $1,000 until they feel like the economy has fully recovered. I do know that there's about 70 lawmakers that's sitting on both sides of the aisle, both in the Senate and both in the House, who are saying, hey, yeah, they're definitely all hands in when it comes to the reoccurring stimulus checks. However, there's quite a few people that are not for it, and there has been no written piece of legislation or nothing like that has come out. So right now it's just hearsay. It's just them talking about, well, this is what we should do, and basically like they're getting a petition together to try to figure out if they have enough support. Will it be possible for them to just get it passed? I don't think that they're going to even try to bring that to the floor for a vote if they're starting to see that they don't have enough support. I just checked my account on IRS. It says my account is unavailable at this time. When you say you just checked your account on the IRS, do you mean you checked the what do you call that? The where's my refund tool, or what did you check? Did Nevada get approved for pandemic EBT? And if you got an advance from your tax place, will they mail you your Golden State stimulus? Yeah. That I did see on the website. It said that if you got an advance, because usually they put like a temporary account in place so that the money goes to that temporary account from your tax preparer, and then they send it to your account. So if you did have that, then most likely you're going to get a mailed check rather than a deposit. I'm in that boat. I did that too, and I didn't get my Golden State stimulus. Someone asked me about, was it Nevada for pandemic EBT? Let me see. I think Nevada is Nevada. I don't see Nevada on this site. Let me check the USDA website. I don't see Nevada as being approved on the United States Department of Agriculture or the other site that I checked. Let me see if I can locate it here on my Nevada. Yeah, it looks like everything for Nevada is as for the previous disbursement. I don't see anything. If you saw it though, I would go with that, because sometimes it just takes a while for that information to become available on the USDA website. Because the information that I found for Alabama, that they're not showing on the USDA website as being approved. However, there were quite a few articles that came out that said that Alabama had been approved for pandemic EBT. What kind of drink? I am drinking the acai something super antioxidant drink from Jamba Juice. He said we were in errors department because they are double checking extra credit recovery. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's right. For a lot of people, for those who like claim their stimulus check that they missed the first or the second, they probably are doing. They're doing a lot of extra review. They've had to really buckle down on fraud and stuff this year in a lot of different areas. So I do think that that's yeah, that's accurate if they're saying that if you have some additional credits, but it may not necessarily be because you have those credits. It could also just be that you were routed um, to that department just randomly, because I know that they're doing a lot of random checks this year too on people's income tax. Because mine's went to um, that department as well. You said you checked your transcript. Okay, so if your transcript is not available, then that just simply means that they haven't completed processing your tax return. Usually, you should have 4 different tax transcripts, and I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. I know there's an account transcript, there's a return account transcript, there's a income transcript, and there's another one. But you want to wait until basically, I can't remember which one it is, but I believe it's your account transcript. If that one is still showing unavailable right now, then they're not done processing your tax return. Houston, Texas. Texas is on the list. The first stimulus I got, nothing for my 19-month-old. Did you claim your baby on your tax return when you filed during that time when they were doing the first stimulus? But either way, go if you claimed it on your if you did your taxes for 2020 and you claim your child, you should have been able to claim whichever stimulus that you did not get as a recovery rebate on your taxes. So if you didn't get it, the first stimulus or the second stimulus, then you should have claimed it on your taxes. Okay, and that could be why it's taking a long time. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I know again that they're doing a lot of random checks, but that could be what it is. How will I know if Iowa is getting the fourth stimulus check? You'll know if Iowa is getting the fourth stimulus check because the rest of the world will be getting a fourth stimulus check too. Yeah, you should check with your tax preparer to see if they I don't know if you did it yourself using like TurboTax or if you went through a tax preparer, but if you went through a tax preparer, there's an option that they'll know about, and it should have shown up on the documentation recovery rebate. It will ask you if you received your first or your second one, and whichever one you did not receive, you have to put it on there. So if you didn't put it on there, you probably will have to amend your taxes. You probably will have to either go back, but I would say call the IRS. I'm not a CPA, you guys. I don't file taxes. So I would say contact the IRS. I know it's completely difficult and almost impossible to do so. I still got to do the video showing you guys in what way I use, because when I did it, I was able to get through to somebody like, was it 5 or 6 days in a row? But things weren't as bad and as crazy as it is now. I mean, it was in the very beginning of what was going on, and I think a lot of stuff has kind of mellowed out right now, honestly. But people are telling me it's bad and that they're not answering the phones at all, so I'm not sure. I did it myself and didn't claim it because I just assumed. No, if your baby was here, if she was here when you did your taxes for when they were doing the first stimulus check, if your child was here, then you should have gotten it. Now, if your child wasn't here, you said your baby's 19 months. I think you should have gotten it. I would contact the IRS and ask them for sure, but I'm pretty sure you should have gotten it. Then they should see it and give me we wish. Is New York State on what? I know New York is on the list for pandemic EBT and for emergency SNAP allotments, if that's what you're asking about. It's weird. I don't know if it was a third stimulus missing. Receive a $1,400. Don't know if it was a third. If it was $1,400 and it was a third one, because that's the amount of the third stimulus check. The first one was $1,200 and then $500 for dependents, and the second one was $600 for adults and for dependents. So if it was $1,400, then that was for the third stimulus check. I don't know if you have dependents or anything like that, but if you have a dependent and you claim them, then you should have gotten $1,400 for yourself as well as for your baby. Arkansas on PEBT. I think I saw them. Nope. No, it's Arizona. Arizona for pandemic EBT, not Arkansas. You guys are still waiting, just like us. How do you find out if you get the Golden State money? You qualify for the Golden State if you made less than $30,000 in your total income, as well as have claimed the California Earned Income Tax Credit. The only other way to get that would be if you are a recipient of SSI, SSP, CAPI, or CalWorks, in which case, for most of those, I know for CalWorks, they should have received it already on March the 27th, and then they were supposed to get a call from the Department of Social Services on April 2nd, letting them know that that extra $600 was from the California Golden State stimulus. Now, for the other programs, they've just recently started to do those deposits as of April the 15th. So I believe they said they're going to be doing 2 deposits. I can't remember if it was 2 deposits a week or 2 deposits a month, but they just started distributing the money for the Golden State stimulus. If you're getting it in the mail, then you have to wait. It said 3 weeks, but I would say give it 4 to 6 weeks for a mail check. Was told check was mailed on the 26th. You should have gotten it. I believe mine was mailed out on the 26th too. I got it like a week and a half later. All right, you guys. I've been on here for a little bit over 40 minutes. I'm gonna get off this phone. I'm gonna get off this live because my son is upstairs, yelling and screaming and all of that, and I want to chill out. But I will be back on here tomorrow at an earlier time, and I'm gonna do another live. So you guys have your questions ready, for tomorrow, because I'm gonna do another live and have my computer set up so I can answer you guys. Okay. All right, y'all. Remember to live, love, and elevate. And I will definitely see you guys tomorrow. Peace.